According to recent reports, 2025 will mark a watershed moment when SWIFT and XRP become the dominant cryptocurrencies and institutional investors finally get the clarity they need to invest heavily in this rapidly expanding financial asset class. Nonetheless, 2024 has been a year of both progress and hardship. It is clear from this massive video that they have been constructing. For some time now, this entirely new DeFi infrastructure, something that was non-existent during the previous cycle, is now beginning to produce results. Because of this, assets like XRP are going to skyrocket in value as institutional investors pour trillions of dollars into the market, driving up the adoption of DeFi. Give careful attention. Institution is the second topic I'd like to address. Accordingly, I made my debut in 2017. Upon my arrival from Fidelity, the topic of when institutions will join blockchain and elevate it to a more respectable level was a common refrain. This discussion has persisted for the last 7 years. I don't believe any market institution would claim that cryptocurrency is going away if you look at it today. One of our portfolio companies, Securitize, partnered with one of the biggest financial institutions, BlackRock, this year to tokenize their own fund, BUIDL. Furthermore, this pattern, what stands for real-world assets, is RWA. Regardless of the numbers on this graph, real-world assets are anything that can be tokenized on-chain. The right side of the graph represents these assets. Additionally, I believe that the institutional side is undergoing a transition from theory to real-life production. Lastly, DeFi is the data point that I would like to discuss. Although I will not go into detail regarding DeFi as a whole, I will say that when it initially launched in 2018, or whenever you choose that year, it was an experiment in which we were laying the groundwork for a new financial system. However, after 5 or 6 years, DeFi has managed to weather several big storms, such as the COVID pandemic, the US regional banking crisis, and our current crypto cycle involving FTX and other notable players. Players such as Aave and Uniswap are demonstrating resilience and the efficacy of the technology, and DeFi has persisted throughout. And this is completely new infrastructure that wasn't there even a few years ago. This proves that we are going to go, which is a huge deal. Extremely elevated. As a last hurdle, the absence of regulatory frameworks is the only thing preventing institutions from fully investing in crypto and XRP. The MiCA, Europe, stablecoin, and crypto regulations that were introduced in the summer of this year will be fully implemented by the end of the year, 1 month from now, on December 30th. 2024. The good news is that we have them here. This means a sea change is on the horizon as actors who do not comply will be removed from the market, which poses a direct danger to USDT Tether and similar entities, as USDT Tether has previously acknowledged that it is not in compliance with MiCA regulations. So compliant stablecoins like USDC Circle and Ripple's RLUSD will be able to refocus their attention. As we begin today's discussion on the growth of stablecoins in Europe, I would like to welcome all of you. At the Digital Euro Association, I serve as a strategic advisor, and I'm delighted to have stablecoin industry insiders here today to fill you in on the basics of the increasing interest in stablecoins, both globally and in Europe in particular. On this one, I was hoping to consult Patrick. Of course. Yeah, well, it's early days yet. I should exercise caution and refrain from being overly optimistic in the beginning. In general, though, we've noticed a rise in demand for our stablecoin pegged to the euro, for instance. Its current market cap of around $90 million is tiny in comparison to the biggest dollar stablecoins. However, when examined separately, it reveals a consistent upward trend. In full. This means that sales have quadrupled in the past few months. In July, we began issuing it as an Amani token that complies with MiCA regulations from the French entity. Next, we launched that ERC token on the base blockchain, and it was a huge success. As a result, we have increased that market cap by $40 to $50 million. And when talking to business associates, all parties involved, including financial organizations, crypto capital market participants such as exchanges, and payment processors within the EU, their view of those assets and tokens has obviously shifted now. Additionally, they are now much less reluctant to incorporate those tokens into their services, indicating that they perceive them as an essential, regulated component of the payments and financial terrain. Therefore, I'm crossing my fingers that Although it is still early days, I am extremely optimistic that the size and circulation of euro stablecoins will double, triple its ETC in the next few years if this growth trend continues. I hope you've been paying attention in this meeting and video call, because not only are there a lot of people who are Ripple partners, but Ripple itself is one of the sponsors. The point is, and this is a major catch, the point is that it's not a question of if, but of when Tether breaks down. The crypto market will be significantly impacted by the following consequences, which will lead regulators to step in and spend a significant amount of money on Black Swan. You might be surprised to hear that Ripple and XRP are involved with one of these regulators. When it comes to regulatory summits and closed-door meetings with these banks and governments, Ripple is an important player and, at times, the only cryptocurrency entity present. As they guide these world leaders in secret, they are also collaborating with governments and central, advising Ripple on their personal matters, not their finances, of course. I made a free-to-join Discord server with over 500 people who are all striving for financial independence and sharing information in order to become as wealthy as possible during this bull cycle, because I think it's inevitable that cryptocurrency, particularly XRP and similar tokens, will explode in value even more in this and future cycles. One of the main reasons I think XRP will explode this cycle and begin cannibalizing USDT and Tether is because you can join by clicking the link in the description below. In what could be as little as 1 month from now, all because of their ties to SWIFT, the worldwide messaging system that institutions use to transact trillions of dollars every day. It is evident from the documentation that Ripple will be one of the rails integrated into the SWIFT network once CBPR, SWIFT's first initiative to standardize cross-border ISO 2000022 payment types, is fully implemented. In light of the fact that XRP is already ISO 22 compliant, these development initiatives will improve their compatibility with the SWIFT network, opening the door for XRP to use the equal messaging standard and participate in daily donor trainings. Another example of how Ripple has partnered with third parties to make their platform SWIFT compatible is this one. One ISO 2000022 compliant platform that brings together local and international payment rails is EastNet's Payment Safe. Evidently, Ripple is among in tandem with SWIFT. An ex-SWIFT employee who now works for Ripple says in this video that Ripple will not replace SWIFT but rather enhance their network capabilities, lending credence to the idea that XRP and SWIFT will collaborate to revolutionize the financial system. Hear this, I was an employee at SWIFT before. Since I was a SWIFT for 20 years, the music is in my blood. The pre-Prime Minister is SWIFT. Financial industry messaging system that pertains to topics such as payments, effects, trade involving securities, etc., but does not pertain to reconciliations, etc. But what we're aiming for with crypto is a store and forward system for the majority of SWIFT's payment transactions. This requires service level agreements, such as I will do something at a certain time, but payment will arrive at a certain time throughout the day. We are taking a look at the latest network styles here, which enable visibility and instantaneous real-time access to the funds. This way, we won't have to deal with banks repeatedly asking, "Have my funds arrived?" or "Where are my query messages?" happening on the network 3 days after the initial request. That's completely unique. In my opinion, Ripple will eventually supersede SWIFT. Among the supplementary networks, Ripple will make its way into the hands of institutions that rely on real-time transactions. Also, in my opinion,